I was in the heart of it, where it all happened, in the dark of it. I'm talking all the graphic. Do I ever miss a block? Man, they all asses. I think it's heaven at the top till it all crashes. I was functioning with the rep cause I was one of them. Look, every soldier around kept a gun on them. Everything looking for them, running up on them. I got some pictures in my mind, I could never post them. It was explosive every day, we made a show of it. Tried to get rich and died trying, had to go for it. A generation off the killer made you know of it. But it's hard to be proud when you're grown from it. The clear wrong of it seemed right then. A fraternity, your brother stay fighting for respect and a disrespectful environment. Damn, the danger in the trenches was exciting. Life is the kill, at least that's how we move. And your word went nil, had to show and prove. And the stripes we approved was a stepping stool. The network grew, so did the investment grew. I was in the heart of it, where it all happened, in the dark of it. I'm talking all the graphic. Do I ever miss a block? Man, they all asses. I think it's heaven at the top till it all crashes.
This is Gangsta-Gangsta, and I am your host, Askari Abdul Munzaka. I'm here with my co-host,
Mr. Michael Hall.
Mr. Michael Hall. Is that what you used to call him?
Nah, Baby Duck.
That's what you called him, baby? That quackster? Not the quacky quack one.
He was all that. Yeah.
That's right, that's right. Okay, so we're here with a very special guest, Mr. Terry Tyson, also known as Lil Kriz. So talk to us, Lil Kriz. How'd you get that name? Like where did that name come from? Where's the Big Kriz name come from?
Big Crazy D, Big Hucklebuck, Kriz followed who was gonna name him. And Kriz was like, no, he reminded me when I was a little boy. Now Kriz was like 7 feet tall, and I ain't never been over 4, 5 feet tall. Yeah, so that's how I got that name. Kriz wanted me the most.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you're in your time, right? You know, the bigs were like, you know, like the OG homies, like they were there. Your generation, the littles and the babies were just together. Like the babies and the littles were named together. When you got the when you became Lil Kriz, right? What was going on in the set? What was happening then?
Okay, well in the set, I've been around pretty much since day one. So even though they were older, I was still there at 8 years old. So I just was limited on what I can do. But as we were growing, like Baby Duck, we just did all we could do with all we had, you know. So you know what the resources in the streets are.
So you grew up with this cat behind you, right? Like y'all come up, y'all sandbox, and that was a time when things were very different than they are now, right?
Totally.
So talk to us about that. Like what was y'all mindset going on?
Well, the mindset, the movement, you know, the wars. We didn't think it wasn't about individuals. It was us. There was no difference between him and I, and that's why even when other cats named J Mouse was coming up, you know, with the same hard mindset and doing his thing, you know, he was embraced. So it wasn't. We were trained naturally. It wasn't no separation. It wasn't no our name. It was us. We was one movement, everywhere together, doing everything, catching first cases and everything together.
All right, now you're sounding like you're trying to make it sound like there was some kind of kumbaya boogie going on. Now, I remember when I came along and I met you. That's like 41 years ago.
Yeah.
Right, and I remember very, very clearly when I met you, like y'all was pushing a cold line. It wasn't like, oh, you just embraced it. It was like you got to prove that you are embraceable.
No, you're right, because you got to be of that caliber. You know what I mean? Because if you just couldn't be anybody stepping to us, no way. You could make the cut.
Yeah, talk to us about that, like because. Cats like that are seeing this podcast today, if they wasn't from that time, they don't really get like that line that y'all was pushing when we was in Nellis, right?
Right.
So like, what was that about? Why was Eight Trey Gangsters so different from the other cats there? Why was it that if you was from ETG, you had to be down with grits and eggs, or you was getting kicked off the set? What was that about? Where did y'all get that mentality from?
Well, it wasn't. We were just number one. I'm gonna say it like this: You know, out of all the different tribes, armies, sets, we were number one. We was, I tell people, if I had to go to war back then, our divisions, I mean, you know, we would conquer other countries. So we have that kind of heart, talent, rawness, everything you can think of.
Mm.
But we were number one.
Yeah.
And see, you know, we did everything under the sun. You know, we fought, we did everything. We even trained and fought and moved like military units.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you remember this or not, but I remember very distinctly. You used to send us kites. You and Lil Huck used to send us kites, talking about like we had to attack so many people a week or whatever, or get kicked off the set. Like we had to really like be
because
active.
y'all was next and things. You know, it was the whole emphasis was putting in the work, work. You know, because when I became adult, I was like, damn, I got all these guns and bullets, and that never would happen back then.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a different mindset. You know, putting in work, we pushed. You know, it's like if you're in the military, you're gonna constantly train to what? You're gonna constantly shoot. You're gonna try to exercise. You're gonna constantly train. So that's what that was about. But you was of that caliber, and definitely, you know, there's a lot of cats that didn't make the cut.
That's true. That's true.
It was a lot.
So and you're a little dude, like you're a little dude, like but you were like known, like literally known for your hands. Like that was something you was known for. You was known for like tipping cats up.
Mm.
Where'd that come from?
It's like a perfect storm. I was a gymnast. I was running track, so just the angles. I've always had the strength of two men. I didn't know it until I became a teenager. You know, I was always fast and greet lightning. I'd been in some shootouts where I seen the bullets and caught them. I swear to God. On the set. Look.
Okay, we gonna stop calling him Lil Kriz. The last
Superman.
time I saw you before, I saw you again. Almost 40 years later. I think it was either 84 or 85 the last time I saw you.
Oh,
Right?
you was coming on up.
Yeah, you had left Hawaii, you had left Nellis, and then we went, you know, TS, Penn, all that stuff, and you took a turn. Like, what happened in Youth Authority for you that matured you so much that you came out and became? Oh, I want to say you became a businessman, but you became a different kind of businessman when you first came. But what happened with you when
No cases.
right that you you know you had the kind of maturity that allows you to kind of elevate and start doing things with your life very different that all of us who want to do now are doing now, but you did it way early. Mm-hmm. What was different about you that made you do that?
Guidance, counseling. You know, people who brothers that were older saw something in me, so they gave me counsel and I took it. You know, and why you still doing this? Why you still doing that? You need to do this. You need to do that. You know, people can tell you some things, but when they care about you, they want to see you succeed. You know, so it was a beautiful thing.
So who were some of your early heroes, like in that regard?
It's a lot of them, because even coming out of Nellis, I had the black folks that ran the place, put me in job training programs, you know,
right.
Just all along the way of my journey, so many.
Right. That was the thing about Nellis back then, is that those counselors, they really cared about you, and you almost felt like they were family. Like Duck and I was talking about that one time when we was talking about like our origin story, like that you know that those sometimes you felt like they was like your big brothers or like they was like your uncles or something, because they really cared about you. They trying to put you in a good place, even though they had some crazy stuff going on, and you know.
Yeah, but I think they understood, you know, the youth. You know, we come out to communities like starting a race of life, zigzagging, you know, and they saw us and we landed in them spots. You know, so a guy named Henry Jacob, I called him Capitano. You know, we played chess from sun up to sundown. I've had so many people, like counselors. Let me see. other people on the streets when I was falling behind Freeway Rick and them. You know what I mean? Why you still doing it? You got this, you got that. And
So when you was in YA, I have to imagine, because I met you on the tail end of your journey. Like you were leaving when I was coming in, I just can imagine. I mean, my time. I know how my time was, and I just can imagine what y'all time was like. Cause you came in the '70s, and like so, what was happening in when you were going through YA, and where was your shift at? Did you make a shift when you was in YA, or did that come later?
it was a shift in YA.
Okay.
Because I was growing, I was maturing, you know, and I was starting to think, you know. And like you said, even counselors just talked to me like I was intellectual, you know, so they would feed me, you know, and I was responding. You dig? So,
I wanna ask you something. Cause I remember you started focusing on money, but was you always focusing on money, or did it just become a time where you started focusing on money?
it kind of kept me, because I started focusing on money because all I knew was cripping my whole life. My soul was dedicated to cripping from 8 years old. So money, it was just a transfer of energy. I'm doing something else because I had the same energy cripping. Even as young, I'm all in. Whatever I do, I do. So the money became something I was doing. I didn't really care about the money.
Right.
It was the movement. You know what I mean? It wasn't the money, it was doing something productive, because all we have ever done was been destructive. Yeah.
So how does that feed into who you are now? Like you I mean, honestly, when I look at you, every time I see you, right, there's a disconnect for me, right? There's a visual disconnect for me, because remember, I was very young. I was 14 when I came into YA. You were like 18 at the time, 18 or 19. You
I
were
was on
leaving.
my way out.
Yeah, and so you were a giant to me, right? Like you were like, but even though you're physically like, and I was really tiny at that time. But when I see you now, right, I'm like, wow, man, that's Lil Kriz. Like that's Lil Kriz, and everybody knows what Lil Kriz was, like what y'all were doing and who you were, and so that visual disconnect for me is like okay, you don't look like who we all know you are, right? So what I want to ask you about is this: is that that dude Lil Kriz, right? What do you do with him? Do you have to do something with him? Where do you put him in a box? How do you deal with that?
I contain him every day. It's to the point whereas the world that we grew up in and developed, it depresses me. So I have to, I deal with him every day because I'm the lion caged up, you know. So I deal with him every day. Every day, like a drug addict. They go to AA counseling or whatever every day. So
does it get easier? It's gotten easier for me to like kind of cage J-Mouse, honestly. Like it gets easier the older I get, because first of all, dudes don't try to trigger me. Like you know, when we're younger cats is always trying to, they at you like, now he's like, he's an old man, oh, what's up, OG? I be like, what's up, OG? Yeah. You know, I be triggered by the youngsters be like, what's up, OG? I'm like, hey, what's up, bro? But he ain't triggered by me at all. So as they get older, as you get older, does it get better?
I've been doing it for a while. Yes and no, because I still have triggers.
Right.
So if you bark up this tree and I'm gonna give you the fruit that you want, I don't think twice about it, you know, because I'm gonna do everything to, you know, like I said, I got my triggers, but me knowing my triggers, so I don't, you know, I'm good. I'm good with who I am. I'm balanced.
Okay.
I'm balanced. That's all.
So that moves us into like what's going on with you now, the man that you are now. So talk to us about the man that you have become. So talk to us about Terry Tyson. You know, I know you as a businessman. I recognize, you know, like the high power business deals and transactions you do. You know, we done business together.
Right.
I know who you are as a man, but only what I see.
Right.
So you tell me, tell the audience, who are you as a man?
I'm still the same person. I think you've asked me that question to a degree, but I'm still the same person. But I'm more focused on building. I'm a rebel with the cause now. You know, even though the cause was back then, we went to war. You know, we tore this whole city of Los Angeles up. You know, and now I'm more focused. I'm more targeted. I'm a rebel with the cause.
So how does that show up? What do you do as a rebel with the cause?
I try to, I work to empower people. I don't try. Those that I can connect with. You know, as you saw the conversation back there with one of the homies. You know, and I just got to tell them, but that's the position you need to be in. You know, instead of doing and moving, you want to sit down and watch. And you said that. And I said, but I said that's where you need to be at. So now I'm more focused on helping and developing, because, the life has many wars, and I've made people, I've made several millionaires, and just like we were talking earlier, just it's systems, we can do it, we have challenges, the numbers and this and that, but it doesn't matter, build that army. It's about those that we can connect with, to build with, because that's, what else is there in life to do but to build and feed our families? You're successful, I'm successful, Doug is successful, but a lot of our people need help in understanding what this thing.
Well, talk to us about your success. Like, when I was in the joint, we used to hear, Lil Kriz, man, he got Corvettes and all the other, Talk to us about that journey. Like, because like Jack was trying to touch on it a little bit, right? Like you went into like, hey, my thing is gonna be about making some bread, man. I'm gonna be like, I'm still Lil Kriz, but I'm like about to get this money right. So talk to us about that journey.
I brought that up because the last time that I had seen Lil Kriz before he went to YA was on 67. Can you remember that?
Yeah.
Me and Lil KB was together.
Yeah.
And you went to jail.
I went to jail.
And that was the last time I seen you, but the transformation had already started because you was focused, you was grinding, you know what I'm saying? And then once, I think I got locked up before you got out, and I started hearing about you, some of the things you was doing and stuff like that. So I knew the transformation had started kind of like back then.
Wow. And I would have never thought about that, but he was there and he saw like just every step of the way of the transformation. Wow, it was wild because, that era, I stepped into a whole nother era. When you get up to a point where you're beating with Colombians and you're 21 and you got millions already, that's a whole different thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I stepped into that era, but everybody knew who I was, and it was respected. So I never had problems.
Right.
In the whole city. I take that back because I came out the jungles one time, and I forgot what car I was driving, but it was something hot and fancy, and I'll go anywhere, been everywhere, So the cat came out from my behind, and I saw him running out. And when I saw him in my mirror, I grabbed my gun, but I had to duck because he was already firing. So everything hit my doorway. And when I got a little break, and the bullets coming at me, I'm blasting back, and I got on up out of there. So that was the only situation. It gave me chills to think about it. Because if I wouldn't have looked back in my rear view, it'd have got me. Because the bullets hit up by my neck on the door and through the windshield. All because I ducked, I had my shit right here. And when he, finished shooting, I got off. But I was really trying to get up out of there because he was behind me and he had to jump on me. Yeah, that kind of gave me chills, bro. Yeah, but you see what else? Oh, yeah. Another one.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was some cats I was down with, DSVs. You know, I'm over there. I said, hey, what's up, homie? What's up?
Are they still around? Plus, don't
I don't think so. I ain't heard them lately.
I ain't either.
But look. I said, I got on a few. What's up, homie? Woo. And they was like, what's up? Like, we can't be seen with you. You know, but you know, if it was the other way around and they wouldn't have said, even from where they were from, I would have greeted them. But I mean, they said, and they was like kind of standoffish, like, oh, you know, we can't really, you know, greet you like that. But yeah, that shootout was the biggest one.
So I'm gonna take you back just a little bit because you've been around the set like from the tip top, right?
Right.
So I heard you talking about earlier about Trey line. So talk to us about that, what was you able to see? Because you've seen it as a child, so you wouldn't have been involved in the way that you were when you were like of age, right? You'd have been more of an observer and been able to see things. And most people would have not even like really cared much about what they was doing around you because like it's not just a little kid.
That's
so you'd have been able to see a whole bunch.
That's what they always thought.
So
I was doing it.
What's some of the history that you can give us that you are uniquely situated to give us?
Well,
about ETG.
Yeah, about ETG. When the set first got its name, you know, the whole city was like West Side, and we was Trey line for a minute before we became ETG. So you know, I've been there through all those transformations, those name transfer. The city was incredible though. You know, because it was just it wasn't nothing but a crib car. You know, then we fell out. You know, I've been through about 7 wars. The first one was the Brims, and I was too little. I was going to Raymond. You know, and then the next one was with the families. You know, and then the 60s. Yeah.
How old were you when the 60 war jumped off?
I was 11 years old, and when it jumped off basically right in front of me. I was a witness because Big Rick pulled up on us, asking about Tyrone. I wasn't even old enough to go to Horseman, but he was disrespectful. There was about 7 of us out there, you know. And one of the homies, I'm not gonna say his name, kicked his car and said, "Cuz you better get this motherfucker up out of here," you know. So from that day on, the war was cracking. The next day, Kriz dumped Spike riding around with shotguns and, you know, waiting on him. I think about the 5th or 6th day, I got hit right here with a 38.
You still 11?
Yeah, still 11. Yeah. You know, so by the time I really got out there and really started acting up and taking up arms, I was 12. When I started putting my hands on some iron. Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna close this out by asking you this question that Michael likes to ask a lot.
Yeah? What's that? Look, you see me, I like that.
Slide his idea.
Yeah, he caught me on that one. Yeah, he caught me on that
He
one.
wants to know. I'm gonna tell you what he want to know.
Yeah.
He want to know where's the pain come from. But also, we often say this, right? Nobody's born turned up, right? You don't come out the womb like no turned up Eight Trey Gangster. That's not how that happens. So like, what happened in your life, like that took you to that trajectory to become, was it because of the where you grew up, who was around? What was it that made you go in that direction as opposed to becoming, someone on this side or that side?
Something I'm not really. It was something, some turmoil in the household, and I felt hate. I was 7 years old. First time I felt hate. I was walking before, I was 8 months, and my brother socked me in the nose, trying to get the ball from me. He got the ball from me, but I just cried, and I was just mad, angry. But now I was really about 1, probably about a little older than 1, but I'm running. And then the second time I felt anger. At 7 years old. I felt hate. I hated somebody for 10 years, and the same person I beat him. I sent him to the hospital. Now, mind you, I never weighed over 40, 50 pounds. So I kept that rage and hatred for 10 years. And like I said, the same person, I beat him with metal, a grown man too.
Okay. Now, I guess the final question is this. If you could speak to folks who are coming, because I know who you are as a man, but I want you to speak to the audience. If you could speak to the people who are coming up or who can hear you, and you can give them a message about what you believe they should be doing now with their lives, what would that be?
Definitely protecting themselves, because I travel, and then what all just happened in the city. I mean, it's just sad because they're losing lives for nothing. Protect yourself, and for one, but for those that you can connect with, they got true hearts and like minds, to connect with them, to cherish your loved ones, because they may not be from your same household, but those be your brothers, it's just, these cats into the snitching game, the young dope fiends, so yeah, it's a lot of wars that we got to go through with self. So putting self in the path of being dope fiends, snitches, betrayal, and it's, these cats don't know. They put in this world to build, come together, so yeah.
And that's very different from the way that you kind of raised us, right? Like you gave us gangster, right? That was a requirement that we be gangsters. Now you're telling the youth that they need to be what?
But he raised y'all to be gangsters, but he also raised y'all to loyal, respect, and honor.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And he kind of saying that's kind of missing, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah. Without a doubt, the loyalty, the respect, the honor. It ain't just like, even though you've seen my transformation, I've got deep roots in the city, deep roots in the set. I've done a lot. But in the same token, I'm not gonna put me above you or be above Doug. It's all of us. And it's like what I was saying in another room. It's about teamwork. We're all together. You know what I'm saying? So the chain is only strong as the weakest link.
That part.
So I cherish my brothers. I cherish y'all. I love what y'all doing. Because y'all building, and I'm on the same path. It was easy and fun, tearing up and destroying things. But it's the same dynamic, same energy that I've been using to build with.
That part. Love that. I love that.
But as far as Lil Kriz, I have to contain him every day. Because, sometimes when I have challenges, it gets rough. But it's like, they don't know. And it's to the point now, old man was talking shit to me the other day. He took my cousin's shoes, swear to God. And he took my cousin's shoes, and so I grabbed the shoes from him, and he said something like, "Who's you?" And I didn't say nothing. And he kept on talking shit. God is my witness. The old man was like, "Oh, you need to mind your business. You don't know what." I couldn't say nothing. I'm like, I would have been attacked your punk ass. Oh man, you'd have been got it. I'm looking at him. I'm like, I couldn't say nothing. I didn't even put a crinkle in my face. I couldn't. The only thing in my mind is like, my maturity level. Mm-hmm. He'd have got it quickly, no questions asked. Yeah. So that's my latest testimony. That's just 24 hours ago. Of my maturity.
All right. Well, we appreciate you coming back out here, man. Flying out here, man, and sitting down talking with us, man. We absolutely. It's been a while trying to get this one in. We got it. Yeah. So man, we really appreciate you coming on, man. Talking to the folks, man, and supporting the channel, trying to build us back up, because we've been off the air for a good while.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, it's been my fault. Like I was enslaved.
I know what you do though. I know you're a builder, and I love it. Yeah. You're a leader, and then you don't get no better than this dude right here.
Man, it don't get no better than that, man.
It doesn't. It's something, man. Because
so if we was a different kind of channel, like we're never gonna be that kind of channel, so we ain't never got to do. But the stories that you two dudes could tell, My goodness.
And there's a lot of them too. And the funny thing about it is, we also had we was chasing some dudes that was grown men bigger than us. And remember we chased them into Burger King?
Right.
Yeah, that dude that grabbed me, the biggest one grabbed me because I'm out in front. I'm tiny, out in front. Dude with some yokes, big, he grabbed me. He never hit me. But he grabbed me, was slamming me between tables. He was kids. Ducking right now. Hey, they was trying to get him off of me, right? But they couldn't because he was a grown man with some yokes.
He was touching on you.
But that's our mindset. We was all up on him. Like, where you from, huh? You got said a lot when we was kids. I don't even know if somebody said he might have been 9 or something like that. What? And we all on him like this grown ass man.
Right.
He never hit me one time, but I was featherweight, so he was slamming me between things, ducking them, trying to break them off. Yeah, our head was busted because we left out. Still gangster. Then we ran into machine gun Russ.
Exactly.
Russ drove us around. We looking for him. But no, it's too many war stories. Right. Something I can't tell.
Right. All right, man. That's it, man. So, man, we appreciate you, man, coming on, man. This has been Gangsta-Gangsta, man, and for my co-host Michael Baby Doug Hall, man, we out of here. Peace.
Yeah. I was in the heart of it, man. I was in the heart of it, where it all happened, in the dark of it. I'm talking all the graphic. Do I ever miss a block? Man, they all answer. I think it's heaven at the top till it all crashed. I was functioning with the rap cause I was one of them. Look, every soldier around kept a gun on them. Everything looking for him, running up on them. I got some pictures in my mind, I could never post them. It was explosive every day, we made a show of it. Tried to get rich and died trying, had to go for it. The generation off the killer made you know of it. But it's hard to be proud when you're grown from it. The clear wrong of it seemed right then. A fraternity, your brother stay fighting for respect and a disrespectful environment. Damn, the danger in the trenches was exciting. Life is the kill, at least that's how we move. And your word went Neil, had to show and prove. And the stripes we approved was a stepping stool. The network grew so that the investment grew. I was in the heart of it, where it all happened, in the dark of it. I'm talking all the graphic. Do I ever miss a block? Man, they all answer. I think it's heaven at the top till it all crashes.